Welcome to VVork. This is the continuation of a video series where we're discussing containers, Docker, Kubernetes, and VMware PKS with Marc Alumbaugh. In this video, Marc will discuss Project Specific and how it relates to VMware PKS. Let's get started. PKS is, as you're describing it here, a pre-packaged solution, but we've also heard in recent announcements from VMware about something called Project Specific, in which VMware is going to be integrating support for Kubernetes within the ESXi hypervisor itself. So if I'm somebody using PKS, what do I need to know about Project Specific?
Well, I think the first thing that announcement is telling us is it's telling us that Kubernetes is going to be our orchestration engine is going to be our container orchestration engine going forward. And if we're trying to do things like microservices, in containers, Kubernetes we've all kind of settled on as is the way forward. What we're doing is we're taking that Kubernetes orchestration of containers and we're bringing it, instead of more of like a second-class citizen running on top of virtualization, we're bringing it down to as a first-class citizen down in our hypervisor. What I think it's telling all of us as a vSphere fill-in-the-blank administrator, architects, reliability engineer, is that you're going to have to start to learning Kubernetes. As we take our monolithic applications that we have today, or if we're doing a commercial off-the-shelf offering as we're buying one of those, they're going to start shipping to us as containers, or we'll morph our application from monolithic into microservices. However, as part of that transition, what you're going to see is you're going to see, let's say 50% of my application's going to be containerized, and then maybe the back end 50% is still going to be in a VM. And when we go to try to support why isn't the expense reporting application working, or the timesheet application, that's going to be comprised of probably microservices running as containers, and then a portion of it's going to be sitting inside of a virtual machine. For me to support that as some support role, I'm going to need to be able to understand what is Kubernetes doing, and then we already know what the virtual machine's doing. When you look at what what's going to happen in the future, I might deploy an application using a Kubernetes manifest file, and that will deploy my containers and my virtual machines that go with it. So think about a VApp that you have today. You know, a VApp is just a bundling of a series of VMs. Your VApp tomorrow is going to be a Kubernetes manifest file that will deploy, let's say, 10 containers in 2 VMs. I'm excited about the Project Specific announcement, and I will tell you is, we look at our strategy for the years ahead, I would not wait on starting a Kubernetes project. I would get your Kubernetes project going today using something like Enterprise PKS. As Specific starts to mature and launch, you could make your own decision later. Is it time for us to migrate my workload from Enterprise PKS to Project Specific inside vSphere? And you're going to have to look to see, if I go back to this slide here, what all is Project Specific going to include? Well, that's a good question. As I look at this slide inside here, we could see where Enterprise PKS is fitting in. We see obviously where NSXT is fitting in. We know where Kubernetes is fitting in. It's still kind of up in the air what all features Project Specific's going to include. and that's something that is, is being determined. You're just going to have to keep watching that project.
In the next video, Marc will discuss the difference between VMware PKS and Kubernetes. Join us in the next video to learn more.